Hello, and welcome back to Project Nihilum Zero. Last time, we got to talk with Soren after our totally not near-death experience that he was worried for us. And we also got to learn some more about the facility we're in. Both normal things and some really, really bad things. We saw some things. I think a guy was getting medically tortured. That was a thing. Seriously, Ocelot needs a lot more than therapy after this, I swear to God. Okay. Well, that happened. Guess we don't get to use our ability. And we got to see some things that might make me require my therapy, my lab-assigned therapist. Can we go see her again? Because that was a little, traumatizing. The door to your cell opens and you are the first to enter, pushed by one of the caretakers, more or less voluntarily. Yeah, I'm not doing anything stupid right now. I know I was being a little stupid before with, like, my words and stuff like that, and then the one time with the desk. But I think I need to rethink my priorities here. As soon as you stand in the room, you stare at a somewhat surprised and horrified-looking Astaroth. He holds one of the books from your bookshelf in his hand. Somewhat taken aback, he immediately puts it back, then hides his empty hands behind his back and wanders embarrassedly around the room.
I just wanted to see if you continued your work. Nothing else, really.
Really? What were you doing? You know what, I just saw some things. I'm not going to, get too much into this. Understandable. Astaroth exhales with some relief as Soren is wheeled into the room by one of the caretakers.
Asta would never pry into the personal belongings of his fosterlings, would he?
Soren! Why are you like this? Oh my god. You are channeling my inner thoughts, I guess. Soren drags out the last part of the sentence with a grin, so that even Asta notices the subliminal implication. He, in turn, looks at you and sighs.
At least there's one person who trusts me.
It's not, I don't know if I'd say trust, but so much, I am not going to be a problem right now. I was the one time. And kind of the first time too, but like, I'm not gonna do that right now. I've seen some things.
Hey, I trust you too. I just like to make a joke every now and then.
At the expense of my self-confidence and my time, may I remind you.
Oh my god, I love these two. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Soren heaves himself onto his bed with difficulty.
We'll leave the two of them in your care now, Astaroth.
Asta nods in confirmation and looks after the masked man, who also takes Soren's wheelchair with him. Soren looks after his only source of mobility a little sorrowfully, but immediately puts on an amused grin as he turns to Asta. Oh boy, what is he gonna say now?
Well,
Asta winces, turns to you with a slightly panicked look, and quickly points to the table in the corner of the room.
Time for your meds and a little test.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just imagining Soren just like... Oh, come on. He just wanted to tease a little.
Hey, don't ignore me, come on!
You throw Soren a gentle smile. Don't be so hard on Asta, will you?
I'm not at all, I'm just helping him with his social skills.
Buddy, those social skills are practically non-existent. I don't know how much help you're going to be able to be. Asta, who is already sitting at the table, begins to clear his throat loudly and points to the empty seat next to him with an inviting look. The small cup with a disgusting liquid is already there. Why not as a pill?
For space reasons, we have most of the medication in liquid form only.
Wouldn't pills be less space taking though, because like, unless the pills are massive or would need to be massive to have the same efficacy. I don't know. I obviously don't know what this medicine is, so you sigh and take note of his words. Somewhat reluctantly, you sit down at the empty seat, pick up the cup, and put it to your lips. The bittersweet, almost suffocating smell alone sends a shiver down your spine. Soren calls from further back in the room.
Cheers!
You know how to lighten up the mood anyways. Bottoms up! Cheers! You choke down the entire contents in one gulp, but the bitter aftertaste remains. As you put the empty paper cup back down, Asta takes a controlling look at it and then makes a quick note in your file.
Very good. Please get the booklet from the shelf and then we can do a little test.
The door opens abruptly and Charlotte enters. There's that soft smile on her lips that you already know. You remember Sullivan and his words about Charlotte. Then your eyes fall on Soren. He's sitting on his bed, smiling broadly and gazing at Charlotte.
Good morning, Charlotte!
She's smiling. Fake. You're able to recognize that by now. And you realize Soren doesn't know. You watch silently as Charlotte makes her way over to Soren and greets him in a friendly manner. A few sentences of small talk follow as Charlotte gets closer and closer to him. Finally, she turns to you, briefly brushing Soren's upper arm with her fingertips. He doesn't notice this either. Without realizing it, a scowl appears on your face, which Charlotte doesn't miss at all.
Oh, is everything all right?
Yes, I'm fine. What about you? Somewhat surprised, Charlotte starts to laugh.
Of course. Everything is as it should be. Isn't it?
The corner of her mouth twitches slightly upwards, turning her nice, gentle smile into a spiteful grin for a split second. Asta clears his throat loudly again.
So, we're actually in the middle of a test.
Curious. Charlotte comes closer and takes a look at the table, but apart from Asta's file on you and the empty cup, she doesn't see anything.
Well, these must be interesting tests with hardly any materials.
I was about to go up and grab those because I forgot to grab them. But then you showed up, so that's why they are not there. Asta's sudden confidence evaporates just as quickly as it came, so he lowers his gaze again and starts tugging at his sleeve.
So... yeah, well, we were just about to start.
That will have to wait. The training room is now free, and the delay is causing all the other appointments to pile up.
With a nod, she asks you to follow her. You obey wordlessly, keeping your distance. The door opens and Charlotte gives Astaroth a nice smile.
I know you have a lot of work to do, and have to put off your other tests to make good use of the time you have gained. But look at it this way. Now that you're here, you can test Soren right away, can't you?
Grinning broadly, Soren claps his hands together and gives Asta a triumphant look. The latter puts his face in his hands and sighs in exasperation.
Please don't. He's always talking so much and constantly trying to get some secret information out of me. I'll go insane.
Oh my gosh. Oh goodness gracious, I love this. Charlotte takes a few steps closer to him so that she can put a reassuring hand on his shoulder. And again, you see how she briefly touches the skin on the back of Asta's neck with one finger. Shortly after the touch, Asta relaxes noticeably and then sits upright again.
Alright, I'll do it.
Thank you very much.
Then she leaves the room with you in tow. Together, you wander through the endlessly empty corridors. The sound of your footsteps echoes off the walls and has an almost hypnotic effect after a few minutes. Without looking at you, she walks on.
You heard it. The little conversation between Sullivan and me, didn't you?
You never asked if I did. That's my defense. Then she gives you a look, accompanied by the spiteful smile. You know you can't admit the truth. With all your powers of persuasion, you respond. Of course, we've talked. You asked me how I was doing, and then Sullivan made a few little remarks. A look of surprise suddenly appears in Charlotte's eyes, but you are not sure if she is acting or truly believing you.
Oh, yes. Of course, of course.
Her posture relaxes and her gentle smile returns. Finally, she stops in front of a door that looks like all the others. On a sign, you discover 2 numbers. 23. What kind of room is this?
Your training room for today.
Then you enter together. You immediately notice all the scratches and stains on the walls and the floor. You stare silently into the room until Charlotte walks past you. Smiling, she points to the empty chair in the middle of the room. You follow her invitation and sit down.
Don't worry, the chair was only there in case you get a bit dizzy. Using your own ability can be draining.
You nod, then turn your gaze to the second door in the room as it opens from the other side. The stranger steps closer and examines you intently. In his arms, he holds a file with a photo of you stuck into it.
So, this is you.
He flicks through the papers thoughtfully and doesn't really seem to be talking to you. Charlotte stands next to him and clasps her hands behind her back. You realize that she has a different relationship with this man than with the others in the lab. Smiling, she looks back and forth between you and him.
That's
Zen. I am Zen.
the boss.
Oh. Okay. I am not going to do anything stupid then. Alright. I don't know which one I want to do. You know what, I'm gonna go with this one, because I am not that type of first person. The boss. So, boss? So the highest ranking? Zen looks up from his papers for a moment, hardly seeming amused by your questions.
Then I hope you also realize that as boss, I'm pretty busy, and don't have the nerve for silliness and inefficiency. Correct?
Oh, I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear. You nod silently, looking a little perplexed. Zen sighs, rolling his eyes.
Very well. As today is your first training session, I'll watch and take a look at the extent of your ability.
And what if I can't conjure my ability at all today? I've never done this before. A deep, unsettling laugh escapes Zen.
Oh, don't worry. We have plenty of methods and a high success rate. I'll get to see what I came here for today.
It's not showing that it's Zen said it, and for some reason that makes me a little concerned. Okay. Alright. You swallow hard. Even this brief impression of Zen is enough to make you fear him. Yeah. Even the interface is digging into it. With a soft thud, Zen slams the file shut, hands it to Charlotte, and disappears back into the dark room behind the door he came through. Charlotte gives you an encouraging smile, and then follows him quietly. The door closes with a squeak. It has obviously taken a hit during previous training sessions. You are still sitting in your chair and are startled when a knock comes from behind the large mirrored window. Then a voice sounds through a speaker on the ceiling.
To your side, on the wall with the numbers 23, you will see a large red dot. Now look right there. We will take some measurements with the cameras in the room. Then we'll start the test.
Test? I thought this was training.
Test, training, is the same thing. Look at the dot.
A bad feeling settles in your stomach as you turn your head and stare at the red dot on the wall as if hypnotized. The dot, which has been painted on the wall, now takes up your entire attention. You breathe in and out, deeply in silence, and try to move as little as possible so as not to disturb the measurements. Suddenly, you hear a high-pitched whistling sound followed by a sharp pain in your neck. Ugh. You instinctively reach for the thing that hit you in the neck. Hot pain shoots through your muscles and tendons. You want to scream, but no sound comes out of your mouth. A bubbling under your skin causes panic to rise inside you. Through your blurred vision, you can just make out your entire body beginning to mutate. Okay, I don't know if... I'm assuming there's supposed to be something here. I'll have to look for that image later, and maybe in post-editing I'll bring it up over the screen so you can kind of see what it's supposed to actually look like. Future Geekai here. So, the day after I recorded this episode, a patch came out, and that would be today as of right now of recording this, that fixed this issue. So the gallery image does now show up correctly as it was meant to. And instead of just pulling up the gallery image and just letting it be that way, I decided I would re-record that scene with the gallery image and edit it in. So, you're welcome. Your skin changes color fluidly and bit by bit, becoming rough at times, soft at others, full of hair, then without. Your jaw deforms while your eyes begin to vary in size. Teeth sprout in mass from your jaw while you grow more arms. You look in horror at your disfigured reflection in the mirror before your eyes begin to grow shut. Is this my end? Gradually, you regain consciousness. With trembling hands and a pounding heart, you heave yourself back onto your chair. Your body looks the same again, even if your muscles are still a little sore. You stare blankly at the floor in panic as you try to process what you have just experienced.
Impressive.
You look up, still clinging powerlessly to the chair.
Truly impressive. The extent of your ability is uncharacteristically extensive. I want to give you the opportunity to become one of our helper experts.
You look at him in surprise, then remember what Soren had said about the helpers the other day.
So?
Amused at the sight of you, he laughs softly, then a loud buzzing sounds in your ears.
I'm sorry. It's for your own good.
What? I don't understand.
What's your answer?
What is going on? I should cooperate because, I'm scared. I don't want to mess with this guy.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, wait!
The plan. The plan must succeed.
Dazed, you wake up. Blinking tiredly, you stare up at the ceiling. It's not your room. Then you notice a strange feeling on your arms, legs, stomach, and neck. You lift your head but are held back by a strap around your neck. You're tied to a bed. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see the bare metal walls of the cell. Straps, chains, and other things hang from the walls to immobilize people. Hello? Someone there? The sound of footsteps follows. Then someone appears in your field of vision. He looks tired.
You really messed things up. Like, seriously. I mean...
What happened?
Don't play dumb. I've rarely seen anyone snap like you.
Snap? Then crosses his arms in front of his chest and gives you a disparaging look.
I checked your assessment sheet, and since the day was filed, your potential has grown enormously. Just like your current skills. But you're just... unmanageable.
You stare at him dumbly, still tugging tensely at the restraints.
All the time we invested in you. All for nothing. You're not tameable. You're just too unpredictable.
That means what?
Oh, well, You get signed up for the games. That's what happens when you try to kill the high-ups like Charlotte and me.
What? What did I do? But I didn't! Sen turns on the spot and walks over to the very sturdy-looking door. He gives you a final look.
Enjoy your last days.